Hey y'all, my name is Josh, and I'm going to help to try to give you some information about essential oils. This has become a fascination of mine. It's always been an interest of mine, but nowadays I'm finding some very interesting things and correlations with essential oils and with the terpenes they contain. And I'm also finding, first off, I want to start by saying, don't be suckered into all of this nonsense about pharmaceutical grade oils or very expensive oils. I don't want to mention any particular companies by name, so I won't. There is one particular company that's very popular right now, and they've been selling a lot of essential oils, and they're selling them from between $30 and $50 a bottle. And people claim that they're the best essential oils they've used. The company claims they've done research to show that theirs is better. And if you look closely, there's you can just Google the truth about essential oils and find out there is no grading system. There is no regulated system to essential oils at this point. So when a company is saying pharmaceutical grade, that means absolutely nothing. If a bottle says, and I was fooled too, even a week ago I told somebody, look for pharmaceutical grade, because that's what I was told. But my research brings me to realize I was wrong, and that's fine. Now I know. If it says 100% oil, it's really a matter of, the quality of the material used. You want to trust a company. You don't want to go buy some generic crap. But generally, all oils will work about the same as long as they're made properly. If you understand distillation and how the oils are brought out, they're steam distilled. There's not much more to it. And so I've been doing some very heavy research on this kind of stuff, and I wanted to read you this little passage that's kind of an example of this thing on my computer here. It's Victoria Incorporated, Biblical Anointing Oil Formulas and Recipes. It says, Consultations, Education, and Training. The Lord is calling many of His people to explore and study biblical scents, anointing oils, and other natural products to be used as ministry tools. We're available to educate you about real and authentic ingredients found in the Bible. Consultations are available. Rates are $50 per hour. To schedule your appointment, please call. Payment is required at the time your appointment is scheduled. This to me is just another scam. At $50 per hour to teach somebody something that you consider holy and important. These are the kinds of things people are selling right now. Now, I am going to name one company in particular because this is one I just discovered. The website's called Pans Inc., as in pan, like nature, and they come in these little bottles, and they claim that they're selling terpenes, which are supposed to enhance your smoking experience, okay? Now, this is cutting-edge stuff, and there's probably something to it, because I've been on all the research into these terpenes and found that, there's no evidence to show that you can take a terpene, put it in a bottle, put a drop on your vaporizer or on your joint, or, smoke it with your weed, and then it's going to enhance your high. There's a suspicion that this might be true, but these are people that are selling the stuff as if it's gospel, as if it's fact. And this is what keeps me away from wanting to sell essential oils or get into this business. Any business is all the scammers that are always involved in it, not people who are purposely trying to lie, as much as people who think that theirs is superior, their methods are better. So I do my own homework. I have my little shop set up here, and I'm doing these experiments. This is sweet myrrh, and this is frankincense, and they're both being dissolved in clove oil. Yesterday I did these various experiments with the pH testing, okay? And I would fill this you fill this half full of water and you test your pH levels. So what I do is fill this half full of water, and then I put a drop of like 2 drops of oil in it, and then I would check the pH. I found that clove oil sinks to the bottom of the water, okay? And say eucalyptus tends to float near the top. This shows that the oils are truly not just scented generic oil, that they're really the oil of what they say they are. They have different specific gravities. And lavender is another one that I'm using right now. Melaleuca is another one that I'm using right now. And those are the ones that I'm pretty much playing with, and I'm getting them as I can afford them and doing experiments. But I've been doing some serious digging into various terpenes and how they affect us. And I wanted to really put this one out there for people. Beta-caryophyllene is, I should say caryophyllene in general, could be the biggest breakthrough in this terpene research. In my opinion, it is. So we have alpha caryophyllene and beta caryophyllene. They're both in cannabis and various other plants. Alpha caryophyllene is the outdated name for what they call A-humulene or alpha humulene right now. So beta caryophyllene, or BCP, can be taken orally. It's a cannabinoid agonist, antagonist. They have CB1 and CB2 receptors in your body. When you smoke cannabis, the part that affects the CB1 receptor is the part that gives you the high. Now, this is just generalizing here. And the part that affects the CB2 receptor is the part that has medicinal benefits. And they found that beta-caryophyllene actually triggers the CB2 receptor and helps with things like inflammation, arthritis, MS, bladder cystis. I went through many different sources to try to find some of this information. It's found in cinnamon, cloves, pepper, rosemary, hops, holy basil, which I'll get into later, oregano, and lavender. Caryophyllene, when it degrades into caryophyllene oxide, that's what the drug dogs smell, just for your information. So the drug dogs are trained to smell this particular terpene. And it's closely connected to the alpha humulene, which is also alpha caryophyllene. It's the obsolete name. It's found in beer, in hops. It's very heavy in hops. And it's considered a sesquiterpene. There's many different types of terpenes. It's found in basil, clove, evergreens. The uses for alpha humulene is for yellow fever, cancer, and it's actually the first dietary cannabinoid approved by the FDA for human consumption. So there are approved cannabinoids, but it's found in their plants as well. There's limonene, which is used in all kinds of cleaners, hand soaps. Next time you're looking at your soap or a bar of soap or a thing of shampoo, look at the back. Look and see if it has any of these enes in it, terpenes, limonene, or humulene, or anything. You'd be surprised how much you find it. Many of these also contain linalool, which is a pesticide, cleaner, various things. It can cause dermatitis in large amounts. It's found in cinnamon, rosewood, birch, and some fungi actually produce it. But people need to know that you got to be very cautious in all of these oils. There was a kid that almost died from drinking 5 to 10 milliliters, tiny few dropperfuls of clove oil. And he almost died from it. So, you can't just go around drinking essential oils. You have to use caution. But everything you overdo can kill you. We know that. Holy basil, while I'm on this subject here, is good for PTSD, bulimia, hypoglycemia. That's right, it's good for diabetes. And radiation exposure. It may minimize the effects of radiation exposure. It contains a lot of beta-caryophyllene. It also contains eugenol, carvacol, linalool, beta-caryophyllene, germacrine, oleanolic acid, ursolic acid, rosmarinic acid. It reduced joint swelling an average of 73% in 24 hours after application. There's a reason why they call it holy basil, but that's, it's also been used to fight fevers, colds, and infections. It contains cinnamonic acid, which of course cinnamon does as well. I have a various list of all these other different particular chemicals, but they'll probably just go over people's heads, because unless you're studying these particular things, you aren't going to recognize the names. They found that it's funny because trans-caryophyllene, like I was saying, the caryophyllene is a CBR2 receptor. It affords neuroprotection, which it protects our brains and our neural network. And it moderates insulin. So let me go with one more first, and then I'll finish up. In cloves, the main constituent there would be eugenol. It's a painkiller. It's found in clove, nutmeg, cinnamon, basil, and bay leaf. It's a phenylpropanoid, which most essential oils are a combination of terpenes and phenylpropanoids, and they're all plant matter. This is why you can't duplicate essential oils in a laboratory and have them be effective on health. It's because of the hundreds of different compounds. They've used eugenol to attract orchid bees because for some reason they're attracted to that particular, it's like a pheromone to them. So anything that they find to attract certain things, they've used it and learned a lot about it. It reduces listeria, it kills colon cancer cells, fights bacteria, toothaches, and cardiovascular disease. And as far as the toothache part, when I went down to the shop yesterday, I opened up a thing of eucalyptus and a thing of nutmeg, or clove, sorry, and oil, and smelled them together. That's that smell that you get when you open a bottle of toothache medicine, the stuff you put on there. It's just clove oil. But, you know, they can charge $20 a bottle for it because you have a toothache. And it has all kinds of restorative properties. What it says about eugenol is it can be directly incorporated into the cell membranes and prevents lipid peroxidation. It also inhibits clotting of platelets. So to know about these terpenes, what they do is, if you think of them, they're little regulators of your body. So one guy compared it to like insects in the forest. You know, part of the ecosystem of your body. It helps your cells to regulate. And these terpenes are found in all types of foods. And we're being told eating a diet in raw foods and special herbs can be healthy, but the question is why? It's a combination of elements. And I really think that the future of food is going to include many of these natural compounds. The way I see history is we moved forward from a time when we were in complete relation to the plants that we consumed. We understood what they did, you know. And then we hit the Industrial Revolution, and that became, oh, that's the old wives' tale about how this thing cures this. No, we have modern medicine now. Meanwhile, modern medicine's trying to replicate what nature can do to no avail. In fact, the first patented drug in the pharmacy, which is aspirin, was made from willow bark. And pharma, meaning of plant healing nature. Now pharma just means chemicals to people. And most of these chemicals are trying to replicate natural products. So I did my terpenes chart with the specific gravity, the pH content, exactly what they do, because I want to be able to understand how these oils work with one another. It's the synergy and the effect between these, but not just the oil itself. You can buy just the terpene itself. My belief is that having the essential oil is very important because you have the phenylpropanoids, the ketones, other chemical things in there. So I was doing my study for the anointing oil, the Christ's anointing oil, and I found that a lot of people are saying, oh, it doesn't matter, it's all the intention behind the oil, but I'm starting to think that I believe that this anointing oil was psychoactive. Like one of the recipes I found was for this holy anointing oil is 6 kilos of myrrh, 3 kilos of cinnamon, 3 kilos of cannabis, 5 quarts, 4 liters or 7 liters of olive oil, depending on which source, and 6 kilos of cassia. Cassia is the inner bark of, I guess, the cinnamon plant. So, and then we have the argument between whether it's canebosum, which is cannabis, or if it's cane balsam, and which is a cane plant or sweet grass. This fall, my friend and I are going to get together, and we're doing a heavy-duty process. We're going to make gallons of this stuff, and probably start out small, but I want to try a different approach to this, and to make an anointing oil that really does absorb into the skin, and see exactly what they had. You know, essential oils are something that's not new to people. People have always enjoyed good scents. The question has been whether or not these smells are actually benefiting us just by smelling them. You know, they say awakening, invigorating. You know, this is one of the things that really bothered me about this Pans Inc. site that I studied. They're basically selling the product, a type of product, something that I would like to sell down the road when more studies have been done and when more understanding has been done on what these oils really do. I don't think that taking essential oils and marketing them as a cannabis additive is a very healthy thing right now. When you put something on your skin and it absorbs in, you have a certain effect because of the dermal absorption. When you smoke it, you have a completely different effect. Many of these terpenes are vaporized, just like when you smoke cannabis. And this is why smoking cannabis is so much more effective than eating it, unless you, what they call decarboxylate the weed. If you eat fresh pot off a plant, you know, everybody's heard of a neighbor's dog ate a bud off the plant, and like, oh, he's going to be stoned. But no, generally not. Most of it is still tied up in CBGA, cannabigerolic acid, within the plant, which converts to, you know, various other compounds like THC and CBD. Most of the THC is locked up in THCA, which isn't psychoactive until it's converted to THC. And that's what the heating process does. So what I'm saying is the heating of certain terpenes, compounds, produces a different effect than merely eating them or absorbing them. This is why smoking essential oils is not the best idea. And I feel like I have to mention these things because I made a video, you know, a year back about frankincense and myrrh. And I've had people ask me on there several times, oh, you know, do you smoke it? How do you smoke it? And I say, you know, I'm not supposed to smoke it. And they're like, oh, I've heard if you smoke it, you get high. Then I have people go on there saying, oh, I did smoke it and I got high. Sure, you can get high off of a lot of things in this world, but I wouldn't consider that safe, and I definitely would not recommend it for anyone. For those interested in consuming terpenes, at least try to get the pure terpene. You know, you can buy limonene, but you generally have to order it online. Limonene is the main terpene that's used in all types of cleaners and whatnot. But I guess what I really wanted to get across here was don't fall for the hype. You know, a $6 bottle of essential oil is probably going to be as good as a $60 bottle. It's just that how much marketing and money is put behind it. One more thing I wanted to say was that when you see something on the package that says not for internal consumption when it comes to essential oils and whatnot, that does not mean that it's less effective than one that is for internal consumption. What I found out is that, you know, it takes, this is obvious, but it takes millions of dollars in insurance costs and research before a person can sell something for internal consumption. So a lot of them save a lot of money on marketing by not selling it for internal consumption. We know how the pharmaceutical and the food industry works, so use your head, do your homework on things. If you're interested in more of this kind of stuff, you know, I urge you to do research on it. I'm not a scientist. I have no scientific background whatsoever. I didn't know anything about molecular compounds and acids and terpenes a year ago. Not even 6 months ago, really. I mean, just some basic stuff. Honestly, I didn't even really know much about terpenes themselves until about a month ago. But I'm into it, I'm interested, and I want to share this information because I feel like people can gain from it. And we can live a much healthier life knowing that certain terpenes allow our cells to regulate themselves. You know, if you could just take a drop of essential oil to regulate your blood sugar, as opposed to shooting insulin and worrying about it, you know, an outbreak or some sort of a disease you have or some sort of an ailment you may have, whatever it may be, there might be a cure for that within the realm of essential oils, phenylpropanoids, and terpenes. So, hope that's helped some people, and namaste.